All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for a special holiday edition of the bowl season. Scott, 1 week down, and we did not do good. 3 picks correct between the two of us, but there's a lot more games this week we got to run through, and I think we're gonna start getting better because real football teams are starting to play.
Yeah, we didn't bring any presents for the little boys and girls this last 8 games. We were pretty terrible. We were talking about the UTSA game while it was happening. I had no faith we'd cover the 13. The one line that changed about a full touchdown, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Really?" In about a week, the whole line is going to change a touchdown, and somehow we won that one. So if
Well,
you
when
print
you're
minus 13,
seven
somehow
year
you
quarterback, 7 year
yeah.
quarterback, it just says I'm playing, and then day of the game, it's like I'm not playing. It's like what the hell, man?
Yeah, that's just. I think that's just how the Bulls are going to go a little bit this year. 3-5 for both of us last week. Not great, obviously.
I blew a
But like you
28
said,
point lead with Old Dominion. That was fun.
well, I reaped the benefit of that one. But I mean, overall, I think as we get a little closer to the end of bowl season, I think even more big names are going to opt out. There already has been a few, obviously, but yeah, at least we're about to pick teams that for the most part we sort of have seen before. It won't be as oh, I like this team's color, I'm going to pick them. It'll be teams we've seen. So hopefully a little easier. Hopefully we get some right and bring some holiday spirit to the end of the year here.
All right, no presents for anybody. I do feel confident we will know the college football semifinal matchups, though. We'll know what's going on in that game when we pick them. There won't be any surprises there. But Thursday night game, we kind of forgot. We probably should have picked this game last week. But let's kick it off. Boca Raton Bowl. We both have Syracuse. Is it -3, -3.5 right now?
-3, yep.
-3. Okay, so we both got Syracuse. We're going to be quick on these picks this week, but let's go. Who do you got in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl on Friday?
Is that the Tampa in Tampa, the Georgia Tech and
Georgia Tech, UCF.
yeah, I don't know the names. I don't have the names pulled up on
All
here,
right, I
but
got you.
the Gasparilla Bowl. I'm gonna actually just gonna be rolling with our boy Haynes King in this one. +4.5. It's kind of a close looking game, so for this one, I'm just gonna take the 4.5 over a field goal. It looks like UCF's it's about half and half on the spread as well. So I'm happy just to take the points and see if Haynes King can pull it out.
All right, I'm going against you here. I got the Black Knights here. I hate Hanks King. It's not illogical hate. It's a rational hate for him. But UCF quarterback's been hurt all year, like dinged up, got a bad knee. Talking about how his knee feels good finally, doesn't need a brace during practice anymore, only for the games. So I think UCF, and they've been good down the stretch here. So I'm going to swallow the 4.5 with the Black Knights. All right, now we move to Saturday. Full slate of games on Saturday. We got full NFL games. We got the 76 Birmingham Bowl with Troy and the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, I mean, we said we were going to pick teams that we knew, but I have no idea about Arkansas State, Northern Illinois.
No,
All I can think
Troy
of,
Duke, Troy
oh,
Duke, Troy
Troy
Duke.
Duke. Okay,
That's the next one. Troy Duke,
is
the
it?
first
Okay.
one.
Cool. Well, I think I have a feeling we both have the same pick in this one. Riley Leonard obviously is transferring to Notre Dame, so Troy is heavy favorites in this one. Duke's the big name, 7-5. Troy 11-2. They're a pretty good team. But I'm picking Troy -7.5. Weirdly to beat Duke because Riley Leonard without him, they might have a formidable quarterback, but I don't think they're gonna pull this one off.
Best part of this Duke team was their defense. Mike Elko's gone. Defensive player's gone. On top of losing Riley Leonard, I think Troy 7.5 is a big number for a Troy team to cover. But Troy, not a bad team on the season. I think they had 10 wins. They look decent. But now, before no sponsor, the Camellia Bowl, Arkansas State, Northern Illinois. What's the dime on this one?
Yeah. So all I could really think about in this one is Jordan Lynch from 15 years ago. That's the only thing I could really think of when I thought of Northern Illinois and Arkansas State. So I'm gonna go with Northern Illinois +3. I mean, the public looks like they're picking Arkansas State. It's about 2/3 to I mean, sorry, 67 to 33%. No head-to-head. Really isn't much else to say here. I think Arkansas State's been hot against the spread the last 5. But other than that, nothing I can really talk about. I'm just going Jordan Lynch.
Good product here. I hated those Jordan Lynch teams. I hated the nonsense. Oh, let Northern Illinois play in a real bowl game. I'm going with Arkansas State here. I like their logo also. That's a badass logo. The Red Wolves, I think it is. They're tough. That's a tough looking logo. So I'm going with Arkansas State here. Next one. This is the big game. Of course, sponsored by Lockheed Martin, the Armed Forces Bowl. James Madison, our bowl eligible JMU, and Air Force.
Yeah, this one kind of scares me a little bit. I feel like Air Force can probably pull it out, but I think I mean, we talked about the magic with Appalachian State when they played with JMU played them. Hoping to go undefeated. They end up losing that one. I'm actually gonna. I think I had JMU plus 1.5, minus 1.5. I think I'm gonna take Air Force plus 1.5. I'm gonna switch and take that one. I just have a feeling the Magic's run out. Obviously they're probably happy to be in a bowl game, but Air Force decent defense, and I mean JMU. They also lost their head coach, who's also
They
been their
lost
big.
their whole coaching staff, I think, left JMU.
Yeah,
They have essentially no, I think grad students are coaching this game. And they lost some guys on defense, but the defense was the best part of these two teams. I'm going a little off the track here. I'm going to take the under in this game, 40.5. I don't think anybody scores in this game. JMU, I think they're the best team in the country against the run. They're averaging like 86 yards a game, giving up
yeah.
running the ball. And Air Force has to run the football. They can't throw the football. So if you're playing a good run defense and James Madison doesn't have a coaching staff, I think they're going to be able to stop the run still. I like under 40.5 here. This one, I think there's going to be a couple of ugly games. All right, how about the famous Idaho Potato Bowl? Georgia State got to leave the comforts of Georgia, go on up to Boise, and they get to play the Utah State Aggies, one of the few Aggies out there. Who do you like in this one?
Once again, don't know much about either team. Utah State's pretty much heavy favorites against the spread here with the public 90-10. I mean, with that trend, I'm usually going against that. Georgia State plus 1.5.
Oh, I like it. It's all the way up. See, I'm okay. I have it all the way up at 2.5 now. I like Utah State here. I mean, it's a home game for Utah State. It's a 4-hour drive. Who the hell is going to this game from Georgia State? Yeah, let's leave Georgia to go to Boise. I mean, I get the blue turf, maybe, but I don't think any Southerners try to go up and to feel that cold. So I'm just going to ride Utah State here as essentially the whole team. The 68 Ventures Bowl next up on Saturday. South Alabama, Eastern Michigan. Kind of a weird matchup.
Yeah, we talked about USA earlier in the year. They were supposed to win their conference. They ended up being 6-6. Didn't win that one. Really, I think I'm just going to be looking at the number here. 17 seems like a lot in a bowl game. Who knows who they have, who they don't have. But, I mean, there's some players that are, happy to be in a bowl game. They're going to be playing hard. So I'm just going to take the points here. Plus 17 Eastern Michigan, 60-40 USA on Eastern Michigan with the public. So it's kind of down the middle.
Like you said, this number is massive for a team that's really not that good, like you said, USA. But Eastern Michigan, I look at the power rankings, and Eastern Michigan's like ranked 120th. Like, how are they even in a bowl game? They're horrible. I'm going to take another under here. I'm going on brand for the channel, under 45.5. Eastern Michigan is not going to score, and I don't think USA can score 45 points. So I'm thinking they win this game 35-3, 35-0. I think it's one of those kind of games. I think USA can dominate. Eastern kind of sucks. I think they're really terrible. Next game, he's going to have to go against his belief. It's the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, Utah and Northwestern. Northwestern, maybe the surprise team of the year. Everyone thought they were going to be terrible. They're bowl eligible. What do you got?
Yeah, Northwestern 7-5 in the Big Ten. I'm pretty sure they have a decent defense. I didn't watch them too much.
It's the
this
Big
year,
Ten.
but
They got to have a good
it is the
defense.
Big
It's the Big
Ten. They
Ten.
all probably have decent defenses.
No offense.
Yeah, Utah is sort of the same kind of deal in the Pac-12. They probably had the best defense in the Pac-12, minus maybe UCLA. Probably not though. Probably Utah is number one. I'm not going against anything because that rule only is for Texas A&M. I don't pick those. I'm taking Utah minus 6.5 in this one. I think a legit Pac-12 team playing a surprise, Big Ten team in Las Vegas. Utah has owned Las Vegas the past 2 years, so we're going to take Utah minus 6.5.
See, I was back and forth on this one, like Utah, like you said, like back-to-back Pac-12 champs. Kind of a letdown. They're playing in the Las Vegas Bowl. Northwestern, maybe just happy to be here. Unbelievable season. More question marks at quarterback for Utah, but it wouldn't be Utah if they didn't have question marks at quarterback. I ended up staying with Utah -6.5 here. I think this is going to be a fun game, though. Actually, Northwestern could show out. And then finally on Saturday, we have the Easy Point Hawaii Bowl, Coastal Carolina and San Jose State.
Well, I just saw a little while ago that the head coach of Coastal Carolina is taking pictures with the dancer. So I like his vibe. So I'm going to take Coastal Carolina plus 9.5. That guy likes to party. That guy's happy to be in Hawaii. He's going to come out and have some energy. So San Jose State, decent team, 7-5. I think they're better than a 7-5 team, but I don't know something about that head coach of Coastal, man. I think he has some mojo going into that game.
I like it, but they made him take it down, so that's bad mojo for Coastal. Like you said, it's a vacation for Coastal, man. I mean, Myrtle Beach is nice, but they're going to Hawaii. San Jose State plays in Hawaii every other year. They've played in there this year, I believe. And their quarterback, he's a transfer from Hawaii. He's been there. This is not a thing for him. And like you said, San Jose State, their schedule was brutal this year. They played USC early, played a bunch of other good teams, Oregon State. Like they played a real schedule. Boise State, Air Force, and then they cruised on the back end of their schedule. So I'm actually going to take San Jose State here. They're used to going to Hawaii. This is a business trip, not a vacation. It's a big
And on
number.
business.
It's a big number at 9.5, but I think like you said, Coastal's just there to party, man. Who cares about the bowl game? So maybe a couple
Literally, they're not hiding it. They're not hiding it at all. He's on the beach with a cheerleader, so I
a
mean, he's
couple
not hiding
cocktails
it.
deep gonna cost you in the fourth quarter, I think, on this one. So I'm gonna go San Jose State -9.5. That should be a fun game though, late Saturday night. All right, next one on the docket for us is Tuesday, December 26th, right after you have a nice Christmas. We got the Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green and Minnesota.
Yeah, so this is gonna be the first one I don't pick the spread here, but it's mostly because we have a Minnesota team who's 5-7. Okay defense, terrible on offense. They're kind of the Iowa that isn't a winning team.
They didn't get in. They got in because of good grades, not a winning record. 5-7 on the season.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm taking the under 39.5. I don't think there's going to be hardly any scoring in this one. Somehow Minnesota's even favored -4 with a losing record. So interesting line there. I guess Bowling Green kind of stinks. I guess they got a bunch of wins that they didn't necessarily earn too much. So I don't know. I guess I'll just take the under, and don't think there'll be much offense.
It was 3.5 when I looked. Minnesota, surprised it's even gone up to 4. But Scott, that's why I love you. I am also on the under here, 39.5 in this game. Nobody's going to score any points. Minnesota's offense is terrible. I heard they're paying their third string quarterback who wants to transfer 30 grand just to stay and play this game. So good
Yep.
for him. Make that cash, son. I don't care about this. No offense. Bowling Green. The game is in Detroit, so it is MAC territory. And Bowling Green did go into Minnesota and smack them around last year, so maybe that's the key. But I just don't think anybody scores in this game. I also like the under. Fun for that. All right, this is a great matchup. Great Texas matchup here. The First Responders Bowl, Texas State and Rice.
Yeah, I like seeing what Texas State's been doing this year. Obviously, they just literally just today on Thursday they signed their head coach to an extension, 5 years and $5 million with incentives. So they're happy to can't talk. Happy to have him around. 35-year-old guy. He's doing really well. I think he's been recruited by other teams too, but I think he's going to come into Dallas and win -5.5. I like that number. So not really like what I'm seeing from Rice this year. So we'll take our Bobcats and go Bobcats.
Is this their first bowl game? This might be Texas State's first
It is.
bowl game.
Yeah.
Not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Rice, no JT Daniels at quarterback. That's their best player. I really like the over in this game. Texas State doesn't play defense, and neither does Rice, so they're going to score some points in this game. But I do also have the Bobcats -5.5. I think it's just kind of a good season for them. Speaking of good seasons, two teams kind of good seasons out of nowhere, sneakily. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, we have Kansas and UNLV.
This one's basically going to be off of against the spread numbers this year. I think UNLV had a had a tough one in their last game. I think they didn't cover in their last game,
They
but
got blown out by
overall,
Boise State.
yeah, that is sad. I'm pretty sure they didn't. I hadn't looked yet, but yeah, they were 2.5 point dogs and lost by 24. And then before that, they were 1 point favorites and lost 37-31. But before that, they were pretty strong against the spread here. Don't know which quarterback's going to be. I don't know. Does Kansas even know what quarterback they're going to have
I
every
don't.
single
I don't.
week? They've had a different quarterback every week.
I
They
couldn't
never
find
know.
it. I couldn't find it.
It's either
Couldn't.
it's either Daniels or Bean or maybe some other scrub. I have no idea, but decent quarterbacks on that side. But I'm still going to take 12.5. Take UNLV plus 12.5.
All right, I like taking the number here, but Kansas is a good team. I don't think either of these teams play defense either. I went over on this one. I'm going over 64.5. I think we have some fireworks on one of these games. Some people got to score some points. I think this is a perfect fit. Kansas can run the ball even without a quarterback. UNLV, they just got gashed. I think this is a fun game. Kind of one of those games you like to watch. I always like to see high-scoring bowl games. All right, let's move over to Wednesday. A lot of games on Wednesday, the 27th. But 1 o'clock kickoff here, the Military Bowl presented by GoBowling.com, Virginia Tech and Tulane.
I think this one's based off of my luck last year. I picked against Tulane and in the Cotton Bowl against USC, and Taji Spears broke my heart and lost me some money. So this year I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick Tulane plus 10. Um, Virginia Tech's actually come on. I'm pretty sure they've come on kind of strong at the end of the year too. Yeah, they're well, maybe not.
I
I
mean,
thought they did. I thought they did.
they won
They beat
four of their
Virginia
last
by
six. Four of the last six, pretty good after losing to Florida
yeah.
State. That's pretty good.
Yeah, they beat Boston College. They beat Virginia. They beat Syracuse. The other two were Louisville and NC State. So those are two decent teams. But I think Tulane will hopefully cover, keep it close. So Tulane plus 10.
Yeah, who the hell knows who's playing for Tulane? But plus 10, they did just throw away a New Year's Six bowl by losing to SMU and ruining their season. But I think 10 is too much for a Virginia Tech team to cover. I can't see Virginia Tech being that good. They're 6-6 for a reason. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right, maybe the best bowl game Gatorade dump, or should I say Mayo dump after this game. We got the Duke's Mayo Bowl. North Carolina and West Virginia. Mac Brown going to look good in Mayo?
Well, I don't have the spread in this one. This is your job to pick that one. But I have heard Duke's Mayo is pretty damn good. Haven't had it before. It's something special. They love it over on the East Coast, but I might have to grab me a jar at some point. But I'm going to take the under in this one. My under 54.5. I believe Drake May isn't. I don't think Drake May is going to be
He's
playing.
not
Obviously,
playing.
so no quarterback for UNC. West Virginia. I mean, they're kind of up and down. They've played good teams. They played bad teams well. I feel like there won't be much offense in this one. Let's see what the total numbers here looking like. Yeah, 90% are on the under. I guess I'm with everyone else. So. I think they pretty much just thought Drake May's not playing. There's not going to be any scoring. So I guess that's really what I got. I would take the under 54.5.
West Virginia, great start to the season. Looked like they were going to be the Big 12, runner-up or play in Texas. Lost on a Hail Mary to Houston, lose to Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma kind of falls apart for them. So a decent season for the Mountaineers overall, 8-4. I think better than most people thought. But no Drake May, Mac Brown. I don't think it's enough. Country roads, take me home. West Virginia under a touchdown. Gotta love under a touchdown in this game at 6.5. So I'm going to take West Virginia in the Mayo dump. Next one, we got DirecTV, the Holiday Bowl. Been to this game. Great game. Saw Vince Young play in this game once upon a time. Louisville and USC. And it's a real bummer Caleb Williams isn't playing. Otherwise, I think this would be a really fun game.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason they're 7.5 point dogs in this one. I feel like they'd be probably favorites by 4.5 or so. I think Caleb Williams is worth that many points, probably 12 or 13.
Yeah, easy.
I've kind of pledged not to pick USC in anything ever again, especially if Lincoln Riley's their coach, because he's burned me way too many times this year and, of course, last year in the Cotton Bowl. So we're taking Louisville minus 7.5 in this one. I'm not sure what USC's quarterback, how he is, who he is, where he's from, what classification he is. But he's not Caleb, and he's not going to make it up against a team that's that play the Big East championship. Sorry,
The
not the Big East
ACC,
championship.
might as well-
ACC championship.
it
We're
should be the
look.
Big
I'm
East.
showing my age.
It should
Showing
be.
my age.
Should be the Big East. I agree. And then number one recruit Malachi Nelson, I think is his last name. Malachi is all I know him as. Transferred, so they don't have any real quarterback for them. Louisville had a great season. Honestly, I don't think anybody had them having as good of a season as they did. They lost the ACC championship game, but it didn't like cost them anything. Like it wasn't like, oh, we're going to the playoff if we win this game. They were already out of it. So I think Louisville's good, intact, ready. I think they just kind of crush a USC team that first and foremost, if there isn't even any transfers or sit outs, they have the worst defense in the conference, maybe in the country of a Power 5 team. So they can't score. Louisville plays defense, no quarterback. Now, if Lincoln wins this game, maybe Lincoln is a lot better coach than a lot of people think he is at this point in time, because that would be an impressive win for him. All right, now you have to break the streak here. The Tax Act Texas Bowl. God help us, the Texas A&M Aggies at the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick this game. I'm picking the total. I actually don't really care that much. I'd probably pick Texas A&M -2 just because we're in the Texas Bowl. It doesn't really matter. Oklahoma State lost Texas pretty handily in the Big 12 championship in the last one. I don't know. I'm kind of picking the trend here. I'm going to take the under 53. Honestly, I don't think either team wants to be there. Either team, especially Texas A&M, is not going to have hardly any coaching either, unless Mike Elko decides to coach.
He's not.
Not.
What a
So
bizarre situation for our school. E-Rob is coaching still, even though he works for Syracuse
he was
now.
already he was leaving.
And he's recruiting against us. We've had multiple people transfer to Syracuse from A&M. So it's a total shit show there. Henderson's going to play quarterback still, I'm assuming. So that's good. The offense is kind of intact. I know Le'Veon Moss is coming back, so they still have some offensive guys. I just don't know who else is playing on this team. We've had everybody transfer on the defense.
Who's catching the ball?
Evan Stewart's gone.
Who's going to catch the ball? There's no Anias, no Evan Stewart. I don't know who's catching the ball.
It's a total train wreck. So I'm gonna actually take Oklahoma State -2 right now, whatever it is, just to spite us because we suck and we deserve awful things. But knowing us, we'll win the bowl game because we're really good in bowl games and do dumb shit like that. Oklahoma State is terrible. The Big 12 is terrible. Don't let that fool anybody. But it'll be nice, Texas fans can just rub more shit in our face to, oh, look, A&M couldn't even beat Okie State. We beat them by 100. Whatever. I'm not sour or salty or whatever. Let's go to Thursday the 28th. We have the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, playing it in Fenway Park. We got SMU making the trip against Boston College.
Yeah, didn't take a look at the weather in this one. Who knows what's going to be like in Fenway?
Probably not great.
Well, 49 and a little wind. It's not too bad.
All right, it's doable.
So yeah, not as bad. So I do like my pick a little more. I'm taking the over.
Okay, I
repeat, the over, not the over. Over 50.5.
I like
it. For not really any real particular reason. I just know SMU can score points, and hopefully they can do that in this one.
SMU, unbelievable finish to the season. Started out 2-2, lost to Oklahoma, lost at TCU. Then they rolled off 9 straight wins to close out the season, including conference championship. So SMU going to the ACC too, like that's not getting talked about really. It's kind of turning into a real Power 5 program, I think, possibly. I'm going to swallow the 10.5 points. It's a true road game for them, but they got a lot of momentum. I think they're happy to be in a big-time bowl game. This is relatively a big-time bowl game for a G5 school. They're ranked 24th in the country. They have a lot of momentum moving into next year. Why not beat the crap out of a shitty future conference opponent in Boston College? I think this sets the tone for them. But Fenway Park sucks. Next one, we're going to the great baseball stadium. We got the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers and Miami. I think you already made a pick on this game, but why don't you tell everybody what you're going with again?
Yeah, just in case no one tuned in for the entire shit show of last. That
was a great episode. We got great views on that.
I'm still recovering from that one. But yeah, I think in this one I was kind of picking it off of the weather and the fact that the Miami Hurricanes are coming up all the way to Yankee Stadium. They're gonna be thinking 51 degrees is cold. I wish it was gonna be a little colder. No Tyler Van Dyke. He's transferred over to Wisconsin, I believe. Um,
Somewhere.
so I'm taking the Scarlet Knights, excuse me,
Scarlet, not
of
golden.
yeah, they're not golden, of Rutgers plus 1.5 in this one. I think Miami will be cold.
I agree. It's going to be, like you said, you wish it was worse weather, but the rain should
Yeah,
be there. So it might be a little moisture, but Miami plays in a lot of moisture. Miami, what a dumpster fire of a season all over the place. Now, Rutgers was looking kind of good all season and then lost 4 in a row to close out the Big Ten schedule. So maybe Greg Schiano's team's not that good. It's a home game for Rutgers. I mean, they're just hopping on the bridge, going to the Bronx. I like Rutgers plus 1.5 here, too. Fun game to watch. You know, maybe Juan Soto will show up. Maybe he'll get a little viewing party there. Terrible football game. Way too cold for a Dominican guy, but maybe who knows? Maybe Yamamoto's there for them. We're getting ahead of ourselves for baseball season, but this might be the best bowl game name ever in the history of bowl game names. I don't know why this hasn't been around sooner. This feels like a new bowl game. We have the Pop Tarts Bowl. Give me some of them Pop Tarts. I want a bowl of Pop Tarts. I want a Gatorade bath of Pop Tarts. NC State, Kansas State, kind of 18 versus 25, similarly ranked teams. What do you got on this one?
did not even know it's called the Pop Tarts Bowl. Because I'm
Great.
usually it's usually called the Camping World Bowl or something, right? It used to
But
be.
Pop Tart's better. Pop Tart's better.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I would just go to that game for the names. I'm sure they just hand out a pack of Pop Tarts before you walk in. And this one, I think Kansas. I don't know. I feel like Kansas State's a better team. I really wanted to pick them, but I'm not. I'm gonna go NC State plus 2.5. Public here likes NC State as well, 80-20. Um, Not really any particular reason. I think Will Howard's also transferring, so they don't have a quarterback. It was I don't know. Watching him play is he's either really good or he looks really confused. I don't know. He's an interesting guy watching him play quarterback. But we'll take NC State plus 2.5. Hopefully they don't lose on a game-winning field goal.
I got NC State also plus 2.5. Kansas State, speaking of our Aggies, they don't have their offensive coordinator anymore. Their play caller's gone. Colin Klein into
Colin
College
Klein.
Station. And NC State, great finish to the season. Won 5 in a row to end the season, 6 out of the last 7. And they beat Clemson, they beat Miami, beat North Carolina, beat Virginia Tech, they lost to Duke. That was their only real loss of any good team in the ACC. Lost to Louisville by 3. Really good season for the Wolfpack here. Honestly, couple of bounces go their way. We could have seen them, taking on a real shot in a New Year's Six game. So I think NC State's a solid team here. Kansas State overperformed offensively than anybody had projected, and they're losing their play caller. It's really hard to fill in with a play caller who everyone considers as a young up-and-comer. And now our final bowl game for this week. Great timing for us. Good game. Great game, honestly, I feel like. The best bowl game we've seen so far. The Valero Alamo Bowl. The winning coach will be dunked in gasoline, I've heard. Premium. So it's not unleaded. It's just premium. We got the good shit here. Arizona and Oklahoma.
Hopefully not lit on fire, but
No,
just something gasoline. Make whatever they
maybe the
wear.
loser. Maybe the
They're gonna
loser.
have to
We'll
throw
send
it
him
away.
into the sun.
Yeah, for this one, for me, this would in past years would be my lock of the week. Um, I'd probably put a lot on this one. I love Arizona.
Mhm.
-3 in this one. Dylan Gabriel is transferring or retiring, whatever the hell he's doing. He's been in football for 20 years.
He's going to the
Um,
Ducks. He's a Duck next year.
oh yeah, that's right. He's going to Oregon. Yeah. The Arizona quarterback. I think everyone's been sleeping on. I even have been sleeping on Arizona last few weeks. When I picked USC a few weeks ago, and Fafita came out and he lost double overtime, but looked incredible. That was kind of his coming out party, and then proceeded to just roll since then. I think the betters are still. I think the books are still a little low on Arizona. I think they should be a lot higher on them. I think Arizona wins by 17 here. I don't think Oklahoma is as good as we think. Also with no quarterback. Yeah, I think Fafita's a freshman, looks really good. So I don't know. I think Arizona's going to come in and roll. I'm not sure what they did in the last 5. I think they might have covered most of them. Yeah, 4 of the last 5 they've covered, 1 all 5. So, yeah, love Arizona.
Great call here. One of the biggest surprise maybe of anybody. Best coaching job. This was not a good football team. at all coming into the season. And if they threw away that game against USC, they had the 2-point conversion. They could have won that game. They let USC steal that one from them. Other than that, I mean, they would have rolled down the stretch. They won their last 6 games pretty comfortably. They struggled a little with Colorado, but I mean, they looked really, really good down the stretch. Like you said, Fafita, a freshman quarterback out of nowhere. And if he starts against Mississippi State, this is a 2-loss team we're talking about, I'm assuming, and you lose to Washington. And if you don't screw around against USC, I mean, maybe they're in the Pac-12 title game. And I don't think Washington would want to play this team again because they're playing great ball down the stretch. This is not a settle bowl game. It's a great bowl game for them. The Alamo Bowl, they're going to feel good. Oklahoma, like you said, the offense was dog shit down the stretch. Honestly, after the Texas game, Oklahoma forgot how to play football. I think that was their season. Dylan Gabriel's gone. He's going to Oregon. This is a blowout. I totally agree with you. This is a blowout for the Wildcats. Should be. I mean, hopefully they don't let us down. But that's going to do it for us this week. It was a lot of fun. 19, 20 games for us. I'm impressed. We're going to be back next week to round out. I think that'll get us through. Yeah, it'll get us through the college football semifinal. Maybe we'll do a national championship game special episode once we know those two teams, kind of talk about what we like in that game. Hint, hint, hint. I think it's going to be a rematch of a certain game we saw earlier in the season. But that's going to do it for us again. I would ask you to run it back down, but I think I'm just going to put it on the screen here. It's so many picks.
Yeah, so many.
I'll put it on the screen. I'm not going to make us run through 20 picks here. It'll scroll through, figure it out. If you've been keeping tabs, take notes, hopefully. If you haven't already, click that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content for you guys every single day. If you want to support the channel more, click that join button. Sign up for a channel membership. It helps me out a lot. It helps Scott. Maybe we could actually pay Scott for his great insight one of these days. He's going to become homeless if you don't sign up. And it also, you get exclusive content, you get early content, you got badges, emoji, stuff to use on the channel for a live stream. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys next week.